will be like, oh, there was a 5 rated earthquake and nobody noticed. Oh, there was a 6 rated earthquake and everyone died. Like the crazy influx in that.
Silly scientists. Don't they know meteorologists have to read these numbers and explain this to people?
Not anymore. I just use an app on my phone that says if it rains or not.
The hurricanes put a ton of rain on us. It started raining yesterday and thundering, and it hasn't really stopped. Like there's standing water everywhere. I think we're just getting the very front of it too. I think we're going to have flooding here because the ground was really dry, and it doesn't seem to want to drink all this up.
It looks like the eye is making landfall right about now in the Gulf,
Panama, maybe. Like down in like Panama City area, I think.
Tallahassee. Well, I'm seeing Tallahassee, but Panama City's not far.
Yeah.
So it's hitting America now.
Right now. Yeah. So the front of it, like way front of it, like the showers and storms that it's been creating started yesterday in Atlanta. That's how big the storm front is, I guess.
Can you show this, Zach?
Probably just bands of thunderstorms that are hitting us, but I hate it when it rains this much. It's just nasty outside. My dogs don't want to go out.
I like a good thunderstorm.
Oh, I'm sorry. Can you scroll out and go down to Florida? My link must have been bad. There we go. You can see it making landfall there.
Oh, we haven't used this website in forever. I remember for some reason we were really into it. There was a hurricane season maybe where we had like a catastrophic one, and I remember getting really into this site.
I look at it all the time for paramotor stuff.
Of course. Yeah.
So what is that? What's the estimated damage looking like in Florida?
What was the strength? What was the strength of the storm? Was it a 3?
You're asking me? I don't know. I just had a picture of it. I thought it was good. I can look it up.
Later on, we're going to hear from Woody. He's going to tell us about the strength of the storm. He's going to tell us all about the strength of the storm. A lot of pressure on him these days. People's lives are at risk.
Helene? Maybe? How do you pronounce it? Cat 4. Goodness, it's a big one.
What is it? Hurricane?
Cat 4. Hurricane. I don't know this word. Helene? Helene?
Oh, Helene.
Helene.
Yeah.
Helene. Have you ever met anyone named Helene?
No, but I've seen characters that are named Helene. I think maybe.
Holy shit. I looked up Hurricane Helene on Google. There was a Hurricane Helene in 1958 that happened also on September 26th.
What? Wow.
Yeah, 1958 Hurricane Helene.
It must not have killed anyone. I think this time it might. Cat 4.
That's crazy.
I wonder how long it goes before they reset through the names again. They go in alphabetical order, I think. So
if it kills someone, they don't use the name again.
This one was a Cat 4.
What?
Cat 4 intensity nearing the United States East Coast. The hurricane quickly attained Category 4 intensity on September 26th before it subsequently reached its peak intensity with maximum sustained winds of 150 miles an hour. Yeah, holy cow. Came within 10 miles of Cape Fear, North Carolina before recurving out to sea.
Oh, so a narrow miss, huh?
It says it caused a lot of problems in North Carolina despite not making landfall. I'm reading this rapidly. But yeah, that's great. Hurricane Helene, that many years ago, also then and now. What a coincidence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so weird.
I think they go in alphabetical order, like rotating through them. So next one will be like Ira or Eileen or some shit.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And they alternate the boy-girl thing. Like they'll start with Aaron, boy's name, and then next year it'll be Alexandra. So
yeah.
I wonder if the rest of the world does anything like that for typhoons and shit. It's fun. I like that we name our storms here, give them a little personality.
I agree. It is kind of fun.
Has there been a...
Why don't they name them after bad things so people get out? Like Hurricane Stalin. Hurricane Adolf. Hurricane.
Why is this a good idea?
Because people will go, I'm not leaving. Hurricane Helene.
Oh, I see. But if Hurricane Hitler's coming, you leave.
Helene, and then it's like, wait, fucking Stalin's coming to town? All right. I'm going to listen to the authorities. I'm going to leave. It's a good idea.
It's so interesting to me that there are people who live in those natural disaster zones that are cyclical like that. Like, if you live down there on the coast of Florida, every year a hurricane hits you. And if it doesn't, you're like, whoa, weird year, huh? No hurricane this year. Well, probably get 2 next year, right? Right on us. Yep, that's how it'll go. Hope it doesn't destroy a home this time. It's like, that's just part of your existence.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, to some extent, there are places where earthquakes are a thing, but they're still like rare, and very rarely are they consequential.
Yeah.
You know, Tornado Alley is a little overstated, right? The fact they call that Tornado Alley, I mean, it's not. They have 2 a year, right? That are like kill people. Seems rare.
That kill people? I don't
Remember
know.
the Joplin ones?
Destroy a lot of Joplin, Missouri got uprooted entirely. Like that whole city was destroyed.
I bet it's much nicer now though. They got
because I think of tornadoes as like
that whole town.
Joplin was like a disaster. I think everybody was seeking shelter
Joplin,
in
Missouri. Like it was ruined.
Yeah, I don't think their homes were structurally sound or something because like a F4 hit them and sucked them off the earth.
Yeah,
that was.
And it's not a very wealthy area. So like
they didn't have
a lot of recourse for escaping it.
You got to dig a hole. My great grandma lived in a trailer. She had a fucking storm pit.
The scary part about tornadoes compared to hurricanes is like a hurricane, you always have a ton of lead time. Whereas with the tornadoes, it can just be like, hey, huge storm here. Could be nothing. Could be catastrophic. And then you don't know until it's touching
I've seen
down.
Wizard of Oz.
If you're close, you're in trouble. Although tornadoes are really cool to
You think
to
any kids, Wizard of Oz came out like, I don't know, 30s or something, 40s maybe. Yeah. And can you imagine, like, back then, movies were a lot more powerful. You think of how people react to The Exorcist, and this is going back this is 40 years before they were reacting to The Exorcist. You can imagine some little kid maybe sees Dorothy get sucked up in a tornado and she gets to a magical world full of colorful characters, literally colorful characters, and hell, you snap your ankles together at the end, you go back home, ruby slippers to boot, literally to boot. You think any of these kids walked into a tornado after they saw Wizard of Oz? You think that ever happened?
I would hope not, because it would be really scary walking into one. I remember you guys probably didn't have to do it because you did different drills for whatever your natural disasters were. You did tornado drills.
We go out the hallway, everybody
times a year.
Fetal position in the hallway, sitting on your butt with a book over your head.
Yeah, I remember we'd have to go into the cubby area and sit there in the same way with like our heads under, and they'd be like, "This is the tornado. If it goes over here, stay down and you'll be safe." And I wanted to be like, what are we doing here? Like, it would tear us into the sky. It's going to rip this entire building off if it comes over us and then suck us up. Like, what sort of security?
It could just break the windows, right? Turn it into an.
Oh yeah, if it just was a raunchy storm or something. Yeah, I was always thinking though, because I was 6. Like, if it comes directly over this building, like there's no saving us. Like, we're going to get just sucked right up. It's going to take the whole building, and then I'm going to be killed by a 2x4 slamming into the side of my head.
Was your school made of brick with a strong, like?
Ours was block. It was like all that government block, and the hallways. I was about to say the hallways, the walls were so tall, but
they were like twice my height, maybe like
way more, like 10. I remember them being like vaulted ceilings, but I'm sure
our jungle gym must have been 100 feet.
Dude, I went back and looked at that slide, and it was
the soccer balls they had there. My God, the size of your torso, these things.
I went back and looked at the slide that was at my elementary school, at my kindergarten, my original kindergarten. It was scary. It was like, well, what the fuck? They sent us up that thing at 5. I mean, it was just all metal, a little bit. It was rusty, but polished rust. You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't rough at all. It was just rust colored. And it was that flat sheet metal that gets 1,000 degrees in the summer heat. And it must have been 12 feet up that ladder. It was so fucking tall to send a 5-year-old up.